Welcome to Spartan Advice, where I try to reach out to the men and boys of the world who need help with their struggles in life. My name is Blake Spartan, and I thank you for spending this time with me. Today, we are going to discuss how some men struggle with making connections with others. With the prominence of social anxiety becoming more pronounced within people of the generations, it is becoming increasingly difficult for people to form lasting connections with others. And sometimes we feel anxious about approaching new people to either form friendships or relationships. And sometimes that anxiety can be so overwhelming that it becomes near cripplingly difficult. And I want to take the time here to try and reach out to all of you who need help in this situation, to hopefully give you some guiding advice and direct you all to forming new and lifelong friendships and relationships. Our friends can be the most supportive people in our lives, and who we choose to surround ourselves with can drastically affect our lives as a whole. It's always best to surround ourselves with positive and virtuous people to form meaningful friendships with, to ensure that we have an abundance of positivity in our lives. These will be the people who we will rely upon the most when it comes to aspects of our lives that we just can't bring ourselves to talk about with our family members. Trust and reliability are things of the utmost importance in forming these platonic relationships. Finding people to form friendships with might be the easier of the relationships we will form in our lives, but that doesn't always make it easy for us to muster up the courage to talk to people to make these connections. The best way I have found to making new friends in life is to make a list of hobbies and interests that you have the most passion for, and look for local hobby shops or event gatherings for these hobbies. Sometimes we can find local shops that host events or clubs which people gather to so that we can surround ourselves with people who enjoy that very same hobby. And if you don't find any local shops that endorse those hobbies, then finding Facebook groups, Discord servers, and hobby subreddits that house the communities of people who enjoy those hobbies can lead us to finding friends whom share the same hobbies and interests as ourselves. Many Facebook groups are formed for local communities within our cities, states, and provinces that we can join to be able to reach out to the people who we can more easily form friendships with that are around us, which can host meetups or host events for our hobbies. And while it's much harder to find Discord servers and subreddits around local communities rather than general online communities for various hobbies and interests, it can still be a great place to find lasting friendships, even if they are distant ones. Approaching people can be difficult for many of us, as sometimes we just cannot think of what to say or overcome the anxieties we face. But rest assured, those obstacles become more bearable with repetition. The more we try difficult things, the easier they become. Sometimes the hardest part is just finding the courage to talk to others. Once you're able to do that, then it can all be easier after that. Both patience in learning about people and finding common ground is key to forming lasting relationships. Try talking about similar interests that you and others share a passion for. Show interest in their passion for the hobby, even if you don't feel the same amount of enthusiasm for the same aspects of those shared hobbies. Showing others that we are willing to listen to their passions helps form and sustain relationships. It's always good to listen to others talk about their passions, just as much as ourselves expressing our own enthusiasm for our own passions, for the hobbies and interests. Expressing curiosity and openness to learn about others can be far more effective than just trying to impress others. Ask questions about things people talk about to allow them to expand upon their own passions. And hopefully, you'll find that letting others express their own enthusiasms and asking questions to learn more about them leads to forming easier connections. Romantic relationships can be the hardest of relationships to form and make last, with the hopes that the people we pursue romantically in life will be the one we spend the rest of our lives with. It can be a scary experience to even think about, let alone actively work towards. These are the people we can make the strongest connections with as we look for someone to spring into the most personal parts of our lives, to share the most intimate parts of ourselves with. And these relationships need to have more substance to them other than just having shared interests and being supportive of one another. But they also need a healthy mix of compatibility and passion for one another. The both of you need to have shared interests, shared beliefs, shared values, shared attraction for one another, and a strong sense of belonging to one another. Finding partners can be a daunting task, which can leave us feeling overwhelmed and lost when we don't know who to reach out to or not. And sometimes it can be difficult just to know where to start looking. Like with searching for friends, looking to places where we can find people with shared interests is always a great place to start. Look to places like stores that host events that you have interests that you care about, hobby clubs and hangouts, religious or cultural communities, volunteer groups, or even hobby classes like painting, theater, dancing, or fitness. Approaching people with the hopes of making a connection is one of the most difficult things in life. And as scary as it can be, the more that we attempt it, the easier it becomes. Repetition chips away at the barricade of fear and anxiety that blocks us from taking the paths in life that we want. And we must come to realize that not approaching the ones that we want to form a connection with is a worse fate than living our lives without the person we will ultimately be with for the rest of our lives. We cannot just leave it up to chance for our future someone to come into our lives and fall into our laps. And if approaching people in person is too hard for you, try meeting people through online communities like Discord servers and online dating apps, which can be good places to meet people and practice how to make those connections. You don't need to start off with a witty opening line or a pickup line. You just need to have a casual conversation and to make a connection with people. It's best to let people know that you are looking for someone to make a connection with. That way they know that you are open for pursuing a relationship. You don't need to say that you want to be in a relationship with them specifically, only that you're looking. This opens up the other person to let you know their own feelings and if they are currently looking for the same things as yourself. Remember to ask questions about them and allow them to open up about themselves and what they are looking for in a relationship. Showing them that you're interested in them and interested in what they like by asking questions about them and their interests allows for others to see that you are someone they can see themselves being with and genuinely enjoying themselves spending time with them. The people we surround ourselves with are more important than we could possibly imagine. They often dictate how we are influenced in life, and it is crucial that we surround ourselves with people who will be supportive and encouraging of us, not to only better ourselves, but for just being ourselves in general. We must not surround ourselves with people who take advantage of us, our kindness, and our loyalty. We are not doormats, and we deserve to be respected and treated as people. The people we choose to surround ourselves with can change us and our personalities for the better or for the worse. And I want you to become the best version of yourself and to be the best friend and partner that you can be. Because the friends and partnerships that we make in our lives are the foundation of a strong mental health to reduce depression, stress, and anxiety. The trust we give and get from our friends and our partners is what strengthens our feeling of belonging and personal growth. And I want the best for each and every one of you. And as always, be brave, be kind, and be yourself. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. It's a simple task for you, but it means the world to me, as it helps our advice reach more people. And thank you, again, for giving me your time here today. Farewell, my friends.